Hello everyone, this is my first demo on how to use ArcMap. In this session, I'm going to show you how to use polygons, polylines, and points. To start, let's use a blank map. To do it, go to File, and then New, and then choose Blank Map. Make sure you know where you save your file. When done, click OK. Now, you have to make sure that you could see this panel, Catalog. Otherwise, you have to click this icon, Catalog, or you go to Windows, and then click Catalog. Now, if you could see now this panel, you may start with folder connections and then right click, then connect the folder. Locate the folder where you save your map. Now, when you start your project, make sure you have a real map from your client. Alright, so my map is here under demo. So I'll just click demo and then click OK. So we can now see the folder demo. Expand. Okay, so you could see a file, barangay losamigos.png. So this is a map for their barangay. Right, so if you want to use this one, click and drag it to layers. And then automatically the image will be rendered. Now, if something went wrong, just wait for it. It's still rendering the file. Alright, so let's assume that the data that I have gathered from my client are the following: zonal areas, and then the data where we could find the different sickness or diseases in their barangay. Alright, so let's start under, still under demo, new folder, right click, and then new, then click shapefile. Shapefile will be the one, or we are going to assign what type of shapefile we are going to represent for this data. In this example, we'll have the zoning first. Zone. So in the case of zone, since it's about areas, so we're going to use first polygon. Click OK when done. So you can now see the zone under your layers. Now, before you plot the data, make sure you have prepared the table, attribute table. So just right click and then open attribute table. And we could see here the preloaded fields for this table: FID, shape, and ID. For example, the barangay would want to know who are the leaders and how many populations in the zone. So we are going to add a field for this table. So we'll add a field and then name, text, click OK, and then population. Let's add another field, population. Right, so for the population, we'll use long integer. Click OK. So the name will be for the leader, and then the population refers to the number of people belongs to that zone. Alright, so it seems that we are ready to plot the data. So let's start. Now, you have to look for this toolbox, editor. If you cannot find this toolbox, then you right click on your workspace and then look for the editor. Just check it. Alright, so if you have now the editor, click and then click Start Editing. When you start the editing, you cannot add any more fields. So make sure you prepare your data before mapping your different attribute data. Right, so to start plotting, click this icon, Create Features, and then click the zone. So for example, we are going to plot zone 1 here. So that is zone 1. So to add some values, look for this tab. Under Create Features, you could find tables. Right, so that we could add non-spatial attribute, like for the name of the zone leader. Right, so for example, this is led by Mrs. Adelaida Yu. Right, population 200K. Right, so that's for our first data. Again, let's go back to Create Features, and then click on the area right. So in case you want to change the position, just click this icon, and then you could now adjust the vertices. Right. Okay, so for table 2, we have here Mr. Jerry Te 102. Okay, that's the second zone. For example, we'll add another zone. Now when you plot the data, I would suggest that you would do it with those who knew about the data that was provided, so that you would precisely plot, for example, in this case, the zone. Right? So this is our third zone. We have here the table. This is led by Miss Ana de la, and then for the population, this is 197. Right? Let's just fill in all the zones. Right? So this is zone 4, for example, led by Mr. Tutor Pilapil. Okay, and then next zone again. for this zone, this is given by Mrs. Nakura population 302. Oh, we forget the population 104. Alright, so we almost fill the zones. Let's just finish this one. Here, here. This is zone 6, led by Mr. Allen Daniel. Population 206. Okay. And then let's finish this one with the largest zone. Assuming these are correct data. Again, when you do this one, make sure you are with the person who provided you the data so that you could precisely plot it in your map. For the last zone, we have Miss Jessa Fernandez. Population 402. Let's change it to 456. Of course, you can't just change the value of the number of people who live there. You have to have the true and correct data from your client. So that's it for our polygon. The next thing is we are going to put polylines for the canal. Right, so let's go back again to catalog and then right click, new, and then shapefile. By the way, you could do, if you have seen some examples, there are some colored polygons. So what they did is that they have put different shapefiles for each of the zones, so that they could choose the color. Just double click the icon and then change the color. Okay, so if zone and the color does not matter in your research, then we don't have to worry. I mean, what we just want to show later is we want to see how many or how much concentration on each zone has, or has a specific, how much concentration does a certain disease on a specific zone. Right, so let's add first polyline. Right click and then new, same process, shapefile, and then in this case we're going to name it into, for example, that is a river, and then choose polyline, click OK, then you now have the layer river. Now you could change again the symbol, just click the icon and then change it to the proper symbol for that specific spatial data. For example, that's a river. The river will look. Let's change it to this one. Click OK when done. Okay, so start plotting the value. Sorry, we are on the zone. Let's remove that. Right. Again, just create feature first. Choose create feature and then let's save first our changes. Save changes. Stop. Then start again. And then we would now see the river under create features panel. Click it and then you could now use it. Alright, so that is for our river. If you want to change the color, then let's choose some color here. Okay. Alright. Now we now have two types of shapefiles, the polygons and then the polyline. The last shapefile that I'm going to demo is points. So to do it, again, go back to catalog. In this case, I'm going to create many types of point shapefiles to represent each type of disease. So new and then shapefile. For example, this is malaria. Feature type point. So we now have the malaria. And then next we are going, so in this demo I'm going to have 3 diseases. We have dengue, and then lastly I'll have the TB. Alright, tuberculosis. Okay, so to represent them differently, I'm going to change the symbol for TB. For example, I use volt for TB, just like television, TV. For dengue, since it's related to mosquito, we're going to use this asterisk. Then for malaria, same thing, it's related to mosquito, but we'll just use stars. Again, you can change the color if you want. Click OK. Alright. Now, let's assume you have the data already, and then you're going to plot this again together with the authorized person who really understands the data that you have in your project. Okay, so for example, we are going to plot all dengue cases for this barangay. Let's check. Let's stop first the editing, save changes, and then start again. Go to create features, and you will see the different shapefiles. So for TB, for example, you have plot one data here, and then on this part, there are a lot of cases for TB. Okay, when done, let's plot malaria. So most likely, again, you could add other attribute fields for each of the tables so that we would precisely understand the data later. And then dengue cases. Okay, we're done. So as we can see on the data, with regards to the TB cases, we have scattered cases of TB patients for the barangay. For the dengue case, most likely uh, they are clustered since dengue usually one dengue will infest the a certain place, no? So it might be neighboring houses in your zone are infected with that disease. So just like this one, okay. And then lastly, we have the malaria. We can also see that malaria cases are clustered since they are also related to mosquitoes. So if you want to check without the zones, so just uncheck the zones, and then those are the distribution of the different diseases in the barangay. So that will give you a good start for your project. I hope you will start it the soonest. Okay, so again, I'm emphasizing data should be from authorized people, and then these people should be with you when you plot this data so that you could get the precise and correct results. Okay, so thank you very much and wait for my next demo.